Hey, so today we're going to talk about Things Fall Apart by the author Chinua Achebe. In a nutshell, it's about a strong village in Nigeria set at approximately 1900, and it was called Umuofia. But the main points of focus in Things Fall Apart are life inside the Igbo tribe, the struggle of one man's desire to succeed, aka Okonkwo, and imperialism from the British. Now, Okonkwo was a troubled character. He had such a fear of failure and had an inability to control his temper or swallow his pride. He was so focused on his success, he failed to realize his own personal flaws, and this is what ultimately led to his demise and him committing suicide. Yeah, sorry for the spoiler. Well, anyways, let's get started with this video. So, first up we have cowries. Cowries are a rare shell found in the Indian Ocean. They have many uses and meanings like jewelry, religious accessories, but most importantly, money! Because the shells are so rare, if you have a lot of them, you'd be considered rich. Yes, that was a plus, but what people really took into consideration was how in the places Africa, North America, and South America, they symbolized the power of destiny and prosperity. Eventually, also, this type of currency spread to even more countries, such as China. In the story of the main village, it's called Umuofia, as I said before. The ways there was mentioned to be Igbo. Igbo is many things. For a large portion of southeastern Nigerian people, Igbo is a type of language, and it can sometimes contain of Igboid languages and dialects. Just like in the book, people work mostly as craftsmen, farmers, and traders. And as if you didn't know, yams are the most important crop, aka the king of crops. There are celebrations that take place annually to celebrate its harvesting. And at certain celebrations, a way of entertainment would be wrestling. It also helps with respect. Also in the story, men tend to be overly domineering, meaning that the women and children had to know their place, or else it was a not-so-great trip to beating land. Their system of justice was typically elders dressed in masks as ancestral spirits, called the Egwugwu. Igbo lifestyle, again, was considered to be highly stylized for 4 reasons. They would have ritual speeches, they would have only certain actions performed at certain ceremonies, and most interactions occur to attempt to show respect for some external being, like another man, ancestral being, or even another god. And last, number 4, to recall some common themes here, respect and knowledge. They're very important to one's role in society, and then that's very important in order to determine such customs. So Igbo gods are mostly based off of nature and its elements. The people depend on the regularity of the seasons and natural phenomena to survive. They all worship a central being, and that's the earth goddess. People are always careful to avoid committing sins against her for fear of vengeance that might wipe out an entire generation. For family, religion plays a central role in Igbo life. Spirits of ancestors, in the form of masked elders, consulted for almost every decision and even serve as judges in legal trials. Also, Igbo emphasizes on numerous gods, but it contrasts sharply with the single god of Christianity. And I'll get to that later. Umuofia's military actually lacked the power and technology needed to stop the white missionaries. So yes, they had one, but it wasn't very effective. European countries that invaded Africa. Let's see, some of them were Britain, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, and Italy, but the British were the only ones to actually colonize Africa and spread imperialism. British currency. Back then they had the pound sterling or just the pound. Today it's pretty much the same, aside from a few changes. British religion and beliefs. The main religion was and still is Christianity. It consists of one God, and that's also considered monotheism. British customs. The British had a habit of thinking that their ways were the best and superior, and if someone didn't think so, they would try to change it. Let me see, I believe the word is imperialism. As I mentioned before, the British colonized some of Africa, specifically Nigeria and a few other places. Coincidence? I think not. In the story, it talks about the white missionaries and how they were at first trying to gain the trust of the people by not being pushy, but by being friendly. Then soon after the missionaries had that trust, they would start converting natives into Christianity. British military. The British military was pretty sturdy. That was one reason that they had the option, while converting people into Christians, to use force. It was handy when people didn't want to convert and resisted. And in some cases, it actually had to come to the fighting part. So, in the end, the effects all of this information has had on me were positive. Knowing this helped me better understand both sides of the story, in a way, and also both cultures' backgrounds. The book itself was helpful at times because its mini glossary in the back for non-English words and terms, such as egwuugwu. I mean, sure, I could just look for the definition in the back, but in order for me to truly understand the term's meaning, I had to research more about it. Well, anyways, that concludes this video. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful.